Gardening with kids can be fun and educational, and if you play your cards right, really flavorful at the same time. I'm Christy Wilhelmi from Gardenerd, and today I want to share 5 of the 10 best crops for kids that you can grow from my book, High Yield, Small Space, Organic Gardening. Let's get started. When it comes to growing with kids, I divide crops into 3 categories: fast, fun, and flavorful. Let's start with fast. Fast crops are things that germinate quickly, like radishes, our first in our 5. Radishes will germinate in under 2 weeks, but usually way sooner, like 5 to 7 days. And they mature in 30 days. So it's a quick, short attention span crop. Now, the flavor of radishes are not necessarily in the kid palate, but they enjoy growing them, and watching it grow from start to finish keeps them coming back to the garden for more. Number 2, arugula. Again, like radishes, it germinates quickly. When you plant seeds, you will start to see sprouts popping up above the soil in a matter of days. I've seen arugula sprout in as little as 3 days, but usually before 7 days. There are some varieties like wild arugula that can take longer to germinate, but if you stick with a basic Sylvette or rocket style arugula, you're going to be okay there. And you can teach kids how to harvest the outer leaves after it's grown a few sets of leaves so that it can keep growing from the center. Let's move on to the second category, fun, because that's, let's admit, the best category. The top of the list is potatoes. Potatoes are really fun to grow from start to finish, from the very beginning of sprouting eyes, waiting for those little sprouts to happen, to planting them in the ground 6 inches deep and then burying them, to watching the foliage come out of the ground, and then at the end, digging for buried treasure. And the math is really cool because you plant 1 and you get 5 to 10. So the fact that potatoes multiply underground is a fascinating lesson for kids, and the result of digging up those potatoes means they'll eat them. It's very cool. Second on my list of fun is Mexican sour gherkin cucumbers. Now these do take a little bit longer. They grow rather slowly, and once they cover the vine, it takes a little while for them to fill out and then start flowering. But once they set fruit and start producing, it's really hard to stop them. And the fruit is adorable. They make these little tiny watermelon shaped and looking cucumbers. They taste like cucumbers. Technically, they're not cucumbers, whatever. They're in the Cucurbitaceae family, so they're fine. But these little cucamelons, as some people call them, I will always call them Mexican sour gherkin cucumbers, because that's what they are. They are delicious and prolific, and you can hold them in your tiny little hands. Our last category is flavorful. So since kids' palates are mostly pretty neutral, they haven't burned off all their taste buds with coffee and spicy food yet, basic foods are better for them, and crunchy. Texture is really important. As a picky eater, I can absolutely attest to this. So the first thing in the category of flavorful is romaine lettuce. Romaine is one of those things that has a crunchy rib. It's pretty basic, it's not spicy, it's sweet to some degree, and again, like arugula, you can teach your kids how to grow it and harvest the outer leaves so the inner part can keep growing for another 3 months. Romaine is great in so many ways. They can eat it straight out of the garden, crunch, 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 or put it on a sandwich to make something crunchier, or put it in a salad that they will actually eat. Those are 5 of the 10 best crops to grow for kids in my new book, High Yield, Small Space, Organic Gardening. You will find that anywhere books are sold on April 8th, 2025. You can go to gardenerd.com to pre-order an autographed copy and check out my other books while you're there. Consider becoming a Patreon subscriber to support all the free stuff that we do here at Gardenerd. Patreon supporters get behind-the-scenes access to all kinds of free stuff and monthly hangouts with me. Happy gardening.